next Tammy talks about. So the mics just keep getting dropped in the appeal hearing from March the 18th. So this is a statement provided or submitted to the court by Joelle Rich, who was one of Johnny's London or UK-based solicitors or attorneys. It's 313 pages, and of course I'm not going to go through all of it, but we are going to go through what he submits in the first 12 pages because I think it's amazing, and it really just goes in the face of what NGN tried to say about that they could have gotten this evidence about the charities with due diligence, and he shows no, they couldn't. So let's talk about this. So he starts with a brief recount of Johnny and AH's divorce and the dates of their public statement, and the statement of August the 18th, 2016, where AH said that she was donating the $7 million to charity. And then he refers to the CHLA honor roll of January the 7th, 2016, that she appeared on. And it said that she donated between $1 and $5 million. And next, he talks about Johnny's accountant who sent the $100,000 directly to the ACLU and the CHLA. And that's quickly followed by AH and her attorneys, including publicly, they threw a fit and said, no, you're going to give this straight to AH, not to the charities, really? And this also includes a letter that's dated September 9th of 2016 from her attorneys, and a press release from her buddies over at TMZ dated August the 25th of 2016 to back up what he's saying here. And next he says the rest of the $7 million was paid directly to AH, with the majority being paid by the end of 2017, and the final installment of $2.3 million was paid on January the 2nd, 2018. And it was only after the judgment that they received the proof that she didn't donate the money to the CHLA. And that's why they couldn't challenge her testimony or her witness statement when the trial was going on. And he explains how if this would have been available, the judge would have had to look at her testimony in a different light. And next he gives a little history of AH's attempts to prevent the disclosure by the charities. And he blasts NGN's suggestion that they could have gotten this through due diligence. He starts with, there are presently ongoing proceedings between Johnny and AH in Fairfax. On June the 29th of 20, Johnny applied in Fairfax to subpoena CHLA, and a supporting subpoena was issued in California, where CHLA is. As soon as the subpoena was applied for, AH attempts to quash it in California. They reject it, but they narrow the scope. CHLA complies with the subpoena on December 18th, 2020. They include a copy of the $100,000 check that Johnny's accountant, Mr. White, had sent, the honor roll, a letter from Vanguard Charitable, Elon Musk charitable organization, referring to an anonymous donation of $500,000 and a copy of the check, a thank you letter noting the donation was made on AH's behalf, and it's dated June the 27th, 2017. Another thank you letter to AH for recommending the CHLA to the anonymous donor. A letter from Fidelity Charitable, dated January the 9th, 2018, enclosing a $250,000 anonymous donation, again in AH's name. A letter dated June the 14th of 19 to Mr. White, following up on the first installment made on August 24th and 16, noting that CHLA has not received any further installments. A letter dated June the 26th of 2019, seeking information from AH about the pledged $3.5 million, and noting that since the original $100,000, they've not received anything else. And he also notes here that Mr. White had also that he's submitted evidence that he never received that letter. He even says that, Mr. White says, if I'd have received it, of course, I would have immediately given it to Johnny's attorneys, obviously. He even says that he had 6 staff members at his firm search electronic and hard copy records for this letter, and they've not found it or even a copy of it. Then he next goes into the ACLU evidence, and that they've yet to comply with the subpoenas, and plus AH attempted to quash this subpoena as well. He does, however, have copies of the undated and unsigned form that claims AH pledges to donate $3.5 million over 10 years, with payments to begin on August the 19th of 2016. It's funny how that appeared. A document confirming ACLU will recognize the entire $3.5 million, even though she hasn't given it, on their 2016 list of donors. A letter from Anthony Romero, who is the executive director of the ACLU, to dated September 9th, 2016, confirming she donated $350,000 to ACLU. An email exchange between and Anthony, and they presume this is Anthony Romero, is dated June the 20th of 17, and it's referring to an anonymous donation via Vanguard, the one that he referred to earlier, supplied by CHLA. And it shows that someone other than donated a $500,000 in her name. And there's no response of in that email badge. And he goes on to say there is no evidence that donated her $7 million divorce settlement to these two charities. The most CHLA received was the $100,000 from Johnny, and it appears she may have given $450,000 personally to the ACLU from the emails, but there's a lack of clarity about a further $500,000. And he notes the above evidence would probably have had an important influence on the outcome of the case. He next spells out how they couldn't even have gotten this with due diligence before the trial because each of the documents were controlled by third parties, namely and the charities in the U.S. It only came to their attention as a result of the U.S. proceedings, and they would have needed to provide an evidentiary basis to make an independent application for these documents from the charities. The honor roll stated that she had given this $3.5 million, or at least in line with the $3.5 million. Her witness statement said that she had given the money. The ACLU didn't even get their subpoena until December 22nd of 2020 because of the beer bug issues. And did everything she could to quash these subpoenas. CHLA received their subpoena on June the 29th of 20. She petitioned to quash it on July the 29th of 20. The California court didn't deny her petition until October 29th of 2020. And then on 11/23 of 20, she objected to that. And the hearing for that application that she resisted was not until December the 18th of 2020. And I'm going to end the video here today because I love these next few statements from him. And let me just read them to you. He next stated Johnny, the appellant, had transferred the majority of the $7 million settlement by the end of 2017, with the final installment of $2.3 million on January the 2nd, 2018. Johnny's libel action was not commenced until over a year later on January the 3rd of 2019. was in a position to donate at least $3 million by April of 2017 and a further $1.5 million by the end of 2017. She could have donated the entire $7 million by mid or late February 2018 at the latest. She did not do so. The cost of the libel proceedings in the U.S., which did not commence until January the 3rd, 2019, cannot be a truthful explanation. Oh, how I love these mic drops. And as I said in the other video, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. So what do you think? Tell me what you got out of this. And if you want to look at this, the full thing, go to Nick Wallace's site and download Joelle Rich statement to the appeal hearing. But as always, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Share this video. Let's get the news out to the world that this woman is a liar. And she's the one that abused Johnny, not the other way around. Let's help him restore his reputation that he deserves. And as always, until next time, be blessed.